Hi, I'm David Eagle from Eagle Leasing.
What we do as a company is we provide office storage transportation solutions.
Probably about 40% of our business is made up of construction or construction-related industries. The other part of our business we do a lot of retail stores. We do Best Buys, we do Targets, we do Walmarts, we do CVS's, you name it, we rent it. And a lot of times people don't necessarily know that we're renting anything until they drive behind the store, and all of a sudden they'll see sometimes 4 or 5 of our boxes behind a Home Depot or behind a Lowe's or rent them outlets. We'll have sometimes 20 or 25 units in an area behind the building that the public doesn't even know about, that we just furnish. We have basically a box for every store. And a lot of the stores there utilize our boxes for excess storage, basically a warehouse, temporary warehouse. We got our start actually renting out tractor trailer units for storage. We found a need, and we soon realized that it was a growing part of our business that it was really going to need to be satisfied by getting more and more equipment in. So we bought a whole bunch of trailers. They were used by contractors and retail stores and so forth. And then we kind of morphed into, when the bottle bill went into effect back in the mid-'80s in Massachusetts, where a lot of retail stores were forced to store the empty bottles and cans, we got tremendous push by both package stores, liquor stores, and any type of store that collected those deposits to store. They didn't want to keep them in the store, so they would rent a container from us, a ground level box. Started getting to the ground level container rental business, which was something new to us back then. So before we knew it, we had hundreds of these containers at supermarkets and at liquor stores and so forth, and we're like, maybe this is something that other types of industries would want, ground level storage. So we brought in a whole bunch of equipment. We expanded our building. We created a shop that allows us to paint them, clean them up, make them look very presentable. A lot of people come by us on Route 9 and they think that that's our location, our only location. But we are in fact in a couple different states. We are in Connecticut, which is where our home office is, and we also have another facility in Worcester, near Worcester in Oxford. So this facility has been around for 30 years here in Southborough. It was a big leap for us to go from our base in Orange, Connecticut to a second branch here in Southborough. It was a big risk at the time, and it certainly paid off, but we felt as though that as the company was growing, we were getting more and more business out of companies out of Massachusetts that we couldn't service out of our Connecticut office anymore. So we picked this central Mass location, Southborough, which was great for the highway system, and we were able to deliver equipment to New Hampshire and to the Cape, to Springfield and so forth, right out of here. The company has been around for a little over 50 years. We started in the mid-'60s, and it was started by my grandfather. A lot of people don't know that I'm actually third generation, and my 2 kids have now joined the business, so we're actually 4th generation. So my grandfather started it with his 3 sons. So their kids have come into the business. We have some that work in our Connecticut office, and we have myself and my brother, and my 2 kids work here in the Massachusetts office. So it's unusual. We're very proud of the fact that it's a family business, and we want customers to feel as though that they have the ability to reach out to an owner and to a family member if there's an issue or if they have a question.
It's a very unique situation working with your family. I have my brother here now, work with my uncle, my dad. It provides its unique challenges, and it's exciting at the same time. You feel like you sort of have to separate between the family stuff and the work stuff, and I'll see my dad, my brother after work, and it's sort of like you have to disconnect a little bit, but you're also talking about business. So it's a very unique challenge. I knew it would be coming in here because I worked at another company for a few years and joined 5 years ago. So I knew it was going to be a unique challenge. It's ultimately fun because you're working with your family. So it's fun. It's a challenge, but I wouldn't change it for the world.
We don't try to hide behind any corporate desk or corporate office. we're hands-on. We've always been hands-on, and my wife sometimes gives me a hard time because I'm too hands-on.
I love talking to customers, so that's really my strong suit. I'm always, I'm always sort of the point person for anyone that wants to call in with an issue, with an order. But it is nice to know that, if something I don't know pops up, I have my dad right there to help, and everyone's got each other's back, and that's everybody here, whether they're an Eagle or they're not an Eagle. It's a real family culture here. It really is. And I grew up around it. My dad was here every day, but you don't totally know what it's like until you're here. And I didn't know if I would like it, but it's been the best decision that I've made, professionally for sure.
But we're hands-on, we're here all the time, we take the calls, we field the issues, and we solve the problems. I mean, we're here to solve people's problems. People usually end up calling us because they've figured out at the last minute, usually, I need storage. Where do I go? What do I do? What are my options? And they usually don't plan ahead. They usually don't say, in 6 months I'm going to have this problem. They usually already call us when they've already exhausted all their other options. They reach out to us, and so we try to work as fast as we can. Sometimes we can deliver the same day, sometimes it's the next day, but we try to understand that when customers do reach out to us, they're usually doing it after they've figured out that none of their solutions are going to work. So, but we're here, family business. So we coordinate with a lot of different industries that do crazy stuff. We have movies that are shot in Boston. That a lot of the scenery they film the movie, but they need to hold the scenery. So we'll sometimes have 6 or 7 trailer loads of scenery for one movie, and we store it in our yard. And usually after about 6 or 8 months, they'll either tell us, donate the stuff to Goodwill, or we need the stuff back in LA, and we'll literally bring it to the rail yard, and we'll rail it out to LA. They'll unload the trailers, they'll shoot the scene, and then they'll bring the trailers back. We do events like Boston Calling. We do a lot of the shows that come into Boston, the outdoor events.
When I started, I wanted to showcase containers in kind of a non-traditional setting. So one of the groups I work with is this group in Boston that actually uses containers for art shows. So I work with them closely in providing them the containers. I'm always interested in what are ways we can use our products that you wouldn't even think about. And it's a way for us to help market ourselves too. One example I can actually think of is one of the first deals I took here was a restaurant in the Boston area that was buying 2 containers. What they ended up doing was they ended up using the containers to create a barrier to the restaurant in an enclosed beer garden. I actually just went to the restaurant a couple weeks ago, and it was cool to see how they're using them. And we had our logos on there that they kept on there, so any way we can sort of market ourselves or showcase these containers, or people could say, oh, I didn't know they could be used in this way, because I feel like we've been around for 50 years. Everyone sort of knows the way containers can be used, but they don't always think of those sort of uses in terms of art or restaurants, beer gardens. So we're always looking for the next thing.
When any type of huge construction goes on, we did the Encore casino when that was built. We do all the biggest construction jobs. Our equipment's on that site, be it an office trailer, be it a storage unit, or we supply the equipment to the subcontractors that are the electricians, that are the plumbers, or all these job sites. So in many cases, if a school's getting built or if a factory's getting built, you'll see multiple different trades getting equipment from us. Some have office trailers from us, some have storage units from us, and so we try to put ourselves, immerse ourselves into a project, and we try to connect with all the different subcontractors that are working on a site. So we're pretty entrenched in construction and everything construction related, because it's not just the stuff that's on the job site, it's the factories that make the windows, it's the factories that make the piping and the window and the doors and so forth. A lot of that equipment they have to manufacture, and they use our equipment for storage at their facility, even though the job, let's say, is in Boston. because they can't store everything in a downtown urban setting. So we do a lot of direct storage at the job site and also direct storage at the vendor that's actually providing the service at the job site, the electrician or the plumber or the roofing company and so forth. We've been brought in by construction companies to help stabilize construction during a bridge. We get called in for containers that we deliver into Boston that need to be stacked 4 or 5 high because it's a tight urban spot and they need to store a lot of stuff and they have no place to put it, so they just go vertical. We do equipment going to very highly sensitive places like Portsmouth Naval Shipyard, and we'll go into very, very sensitive areas where it requires a tremendous amount of security clearances to get into it. They build very technical ships, and so we deliver equipment there and do that. We've taken equipment over to Nantucket, brought them on the barge. We've brought stuff down to Newport. We've taken stuff on top of Mount Snow in Vermont. So we go up, we go down. Some of our equipment goes on ships and goes all the way around the world. We do business with Woods Hole Oceanographic Institute. Sometimes they'd be doing a project in the Galapagos Islands. Deliver the equipment to Woods Hole. The containers go on the ship. The ship goes to the Galapagos Islands. They spend 6 months there. So sometimes our equipment goes all the way around the world, sometimes a couple times. So we do a lot of stuff like that. It's very interesting. Every day is a little different. Back about 3 years ago, we decided to invest in solar power for our building here in Southborough. We had already done so in our Connecticut office and in our Oxford facility. So this was the third facility, and the only reason why we waited so long in Southborough is we wanted to see if the trees needed to be cut down. There was some question for engineering point as to where the sun angles were and to make sure that we can maximize the use of the solar panels. Once that was determined, we went full-blown right into solar panels in the building here in Southborough. So during the summer months and into the fall, we're 100% solar in our building. Myself, I have a Tesla, so I plug in every morning to our electrical to charge our vehicle, and the power literally is coming from the solar panels right into my car. So we're very conscious of keeping a low impact on the utilities, keeping a low impact on any type of carbon issue when it comes to the environment. So we're very conscious of that, and I think it's already paid off.
So if someone needs storage space, whether it's a container, whether it's a dock height storage trailer, we're there for them. If they need a mobile office space, whether it's an office container on the ground, an office trailer on wheels, those two types of products are increasingly popular now. Everyone needs space, and it's hard to find a building sometimes. We're there for them. And we also provide transportation solutions in terms of road equipment, stuff that our customers are pulling themselves on the road.
So we're very conscious of the process to make sure that when the equipment arrives at a site, that it's clean, that it's watertight, that it's lockable, that it's presentable and it looks good. My name is on that box, so I'm hoping that people will see it and want to reach out to us. So our reputation's on the line as much as as the customer's reputation is on the line when we deliver a box to someone's site. So we're very conscious of making sure that the equipment is presentable, and also if they get multiple pieces of equipment, that they all look alike. We always tell customers that if they rent 4 or 5 boxes from us, it'll look like soldiers. One will look like the next, look like the next, look like the next. It'll be a nice uniform color. We're very conscious of the look of our units. We want to make sure that people feel comfortable with our equipment and feel very proud of the fact that they've chosen Eagle Leasing.
But more than anything, I feel like the way we're defined is just our family culture. There are a lot of companies that do what we do. The difference between us and another company is just sort of the customer service you're going to get. You can call up and talk to me, talk to my dad, talk to my brother, my uncle. You're not going to just talk to a call center. You're going to talk to one of us. So if you have an issue, it's going to be answered within the day. It's not going to be something that you're getting passed around through different people. And that's the stuff I hear from customers all the time. That's what makes us stand out.
Thanks for coming to Eagle Leasing. We welcome anyone in town that wants to come visit us, and we really appreciate your time.